Good afternoon to one and all. Today we are going to see the concept of exceptional handling in Java. What are the exceptions? The exceptional handling in Java is one of the powerful mechanisms to handle the runtime errors so that normal flow of the application can be maintained. Exceptions are nothing but an abnormal condition, that is, the event which disrupts the normal flow of the program. Exception handling is a mechanism to handle the runtime errors such as class not found exception, IO exception, SQL exception, remote exception, etc. Now, what is the main advantage of exceptional handling? The main advantage is to maintain the normal flow of the application, and exception normally disrupts the normal flow of the application, and that is why we are using the concept of exceptional handling. That is, if an exception occurs in your program, how to overcome that exception and how to execute the statements after the exception. That is done by exceptional handling. We will see the example. Suppose you have 10 statements in your program and an exception occurs at statement 5. Now, due to this, the rest of the statement, that is from statement 6 to statement 10, the execution will not be performed. And due to which we are using the exceptional handling condition so that we can execute the rest of the statement. Next, we will see the hierarchy of Java exception classes. The main class is throwable class, which is inherited by exception class and error. Under exception, you have IO exception, SQL exception, class not found exception, and runtime exception. Under runtime exception, you have arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, number format exception, and index out of bound exception. Under index out of bound exception, we have array index out of bound exception and string index out of bound exception. Under error, we have stack overflow error, virtual machine error, and out of memory error. Now, this is the hierarchy of your exception classes. Next, we will see the types of Java exception. There are two main types of Java exception: checked exception and unchecked exception. But according to Java, there are three main types: checked exception, unchecked exception, and error. Now we will see in details what is the difference between checked exception and unchecked exception. Checked exception: the classes which directly inherits throwable class except runtime exception and error are known as checked exception. Example: IO exception, SQL exception, etc. The checked exceptions are checked at compile time, that is, before the execution of your program. Next, unchecked exception. The classes which inherit runtime exception are known as unchecked exception. Example: arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, array index out of bound exception, etc. Unchecked exceptions are not checked at compile time, but they are checked at runtime. See, this is the main difference between checked and unchecked exception. Checked exceptions are checked at compile time, unchecked exceptions are checked at runtime. And the third type is error. Error is irrecoverable. Example: out of memory error, virtual machine error, and assertion error. These are the three types of exceptions according to Oracle. Next, we will see what are the keywords which are used in Java exception. There are 5 keywords which are used in Java exception. Those are try, catch, finally, throw, and throws. The try keyword, it is used to specify a block where we should place exception code. The try block must be followed by either catch or finally. It means we cannot use the try block alone. Single try block will not work. we have to use either catch block or finally block. Second, we will see catch. It is used to handle the exception. It must be preceded by try block, which means we cannot use catch block alone, as we have seen about try one. It can be followed by final block, means it is not a compulsion that we have to use the finally or not. You may use or you may not use. Finally block, it is used to execute the important code of the program. It is executed whether an exception is handled or not. Throw keyword, it is used to throw an exception. Throws keyword, it is used to declare exception. It does not throw an exception. It specifies that there may occur an exception in the method. It is always used with method signature. Next, we will see what is Java try block. Java try block is used to enclose the code that might throw an exception. It must be used within the method. If an exception occurs at a particular statement of try block, the rest of the block code will not be executed. See, this is an important statement. If an exception occurs at a particular statement of a try block, the rest of the block code, the remaining statement after the exception occurring, will not be executed. So it is recommended not to keep the code in try block, and that will not throw an exception. We will see the example of this statement later. Java try block must be followed by either catch or finally. Next, we will see the syntax of Java try catch and Java try finally block. First, we will see what is Java try catch. Here there are three statements with two blocks. First one is try block and second one is catch block. In try block, we are writing the code which may throw an exception, and if exception occur, the control will go to the catch block. Here we are specifying the exception class name, that is, we can write the name of the exception which is going to occur. Next is the syntax for try finally block. Here there are two blocks. First is try block, and which is followed by finally block. Next, we will see what is Java catch block. Java catch block is used to handle the exception by declaring the type of exception within the parameter. You have to declare which exception is going to, we have to declare the exception. The declared exception must be the parent class exception or the generated exception type. However, the good approach is to declare the generated type of exception. The catch block must be used after the try block only. And we can use multiple catch block within a single try block. We cannot directly use the catch block. See, when exception is going to occur in try block, then the working of catch block will be performed. So we cannot directly use the catch block. Now we will see the example. In this example, we are not using the concept of exceptional handling. So this is the program. This is the class name try catch example 1. This is your main statement from which your execution will start. And here there are two statements. In first statement, we are calculating the value of data variable which is of type integer, which is calculated by 50 divided by 0. Now this instruction is going to throw an exception. And next statement, it is going to display the statement rest of the code. Now see here, as this statement is going to throw an exception, and we have already studied that when the exception is occurring, the rest of the statement will not be executed. Now due to this, if there are 100 lines of code and an exception is occurring at 50th line, the rest of the code will not be executed. Now this is the main problem when we are writing the program without using the concept of exceptional handling. Now This is the another program which is the solution for the previous one. That is, we are using the concept of exceptional handling. We will see this example. This is the name of the class. Then there is a main function. Now here you are using two blocks. First is try block and catch block. In try block, we are writing the statement which is going to throw an exception. Same statement as the previous one. It is calculating the value of data field, data variable, and then when the exception is occurred, the control will go in your catch block. Here we are declaring the parameter arithmetic exception, which is the type of exception which is going to occur. Next we are displaying the parameter E, which will display the statement java.lang.arithmetic exception divide by 0. This is the name of the exception which is going to occur after the execution of this statement. Okay. And next, you are displaying the statement rest of the code. See, in the previous example, none of the statement is executed after the exception is occurring over here. In this statement, when the exception is occur, it will displaying the name of the exception and then the statement rest of the code. So in this program, we are going to get two statements in your output. Okay. Next, in this example, here the change is we are adding one of the statement that system.out.println rest of the code. The rest of the code which is going to be displayed. Now what is the problem in this program? See, we have already studied in the previous slide. Here, if an exception occur at a particular statement of try block, the rest of the block will not be executed. Now this is the case. Here, see here, when the exception is going to occur in this statement, the rest of the statement over here, it will not be executed. The exception is going to occur, the control will go in the catch block, that is divide by 0. As the exception is occurring and that there is another statement, the statement will not be executed. So it is recommended not to write any code after the statement which is going to throw an exception. I think I have cleared with this idea of exceptional handling in Java. We have seen the example. Also, if you have any doubt regarding this, you can directly contact me. Thank you.